Okay, so things are fairly cramped in the short wheelbase RAV4s, but I've found enough room to run cables in properly. And yeah, I'm going to rerun for the speakers. I also got to run back to the amp for the input and go through an input converter. I don't believe that these factory head units have low level outputs. I might try and pop it out just to check. It looks like it's fairly easy. There's a couple of screws underneath, but don't believe that they have low outs. If they do, I'll be very surprised given how old they are. But yeah, the other option's an aftermarket head unit, but I like the 6-disc changer, so I'm going to keep with the original. I believe it's a Fujitsu built unit, and they do have fairly good output even without an amplifier, so that can stay as it is. Yeah, so I'm just running cables through, marking and tagging everything. Right front, right rear, left front, and I've got to run a left rear speaker cable, and just cable tie and hide everything as best I can. I'm going to run some of this, I've got miles of this poly cable armour. I'm going to run that through there over the main DC feeder, because there are still some sharp edges on these punched metal pieces. You can see it's scraped a bit of the insulation off already. Just pulling it through. It's actually fairly nasty stuff. They're only very light cuts, but I'm going to armour it and protect it just in case. Might even get some 16mm Armor Flex, which is the rubber coated steel flexible industrial cable armour. Anaconda, it's otherwise called. Yeah, so that's all got to be tied off or clamped off, but it's all good. So yeah, this or the cheapo amp in there, the Fusion amp, can go in here. It doesn't really matter which one. If this one still hums when I feed it an input, I'm going to take it out and do some more work on it. But I believe the hum was just from the DVD player, because I've had issues feeding certain amplifiers and devices with that DVD player. It's not the best. It's not the cleanest of output anyway, especially when it comes to ground looping. So yeah, I'm just cable tying and sorting stuff out now. Okay, I got the side trims out. You can see the factory weatherproof speakers. Being as close to the soft top, they opted for these plastic ones, which sound awful. What are they? 16 ohm, 20 watt. Yeah, that's the specs on it. They do still work, they just don't sound very good. They'd be good for marine use, that sort of thing. We can't feel the coil dragging or anything like that, obviously, because the rubber suspension's still intact. Yeah, they're all plastic apart from the magnet. And they sound awful, so I'll put some Sonys in for the time being. There's no real cavity, so to speak of. You can even see a slitting wheel mark from where they've done a reskin of this quarter. All these holes here are drilled out spot welds. Looks like they've come down somewhere around here and TIG welded a new section in. It's a shame, because I've got to get in there and deal with that at some stage. One of Betty's biggest battle scar is that one there, and it's ground right down to steel, so I want to fix that so it's all nice and smooth again. But being where it is, it's right in under that plastic container behind the wheel arch essentially. I might be able to get into it. The main thing is just to push it out and then give it a light fill, and well, trying to spray over silver like this is pretty tricky. Getting the match is the tricky bit. So I don't know, I might even take it to Sheen Panels or someone like that and see what they can do. It's the only real blemish that I want fixed. I don't mind the minor dents and things, but that's a real eyesore. So I'd rather get that done. But no, there's certainly been some work done in here. The speaker magnet's been collecting grinding dust. Yeah, oh well. And there's the rest of the pre-tensioner. There's a tube that goes up in here with a steel cable, a plunger and a pyrotechnic or explosive charge at the bottom of it. It's the best way to propel things with explosives. Okay, the two ways are in now. They'll do the job for what they are. I I'm using just old foam gasket punch outs. These are new, well, essentially the punched out centre of a plastic box gasket. I grabbed a heap from work and I've almost gone through the whole lot already. I'm going to have to grab some more next time we do a run of remote control boxes, but they've come in handy because all up inside here on both sides is actually coated with them. I just shove my hand up inside and stick it on, and the stuff is really tenacious. So yeah, it should work quite well. Likewise, there's a big wedge of that blue rubber carpet underlay stuck up inside and siliconed against the far side, so it should take a lot of the tinny body sound out of it. Not much I can do about the internal structure because you can't get into most of it, but it's taken a bit out. I didn't get up this far, but there's sticky up to about there. Yeah, it's tricky, but it'll sound better. It'll take a lot of that crap out of it. Anyway, the speakers are wired to their new cables. These ones here are going to be feeders for the amplifier. The front one's going to a big multi-pin block connector, so I'm not going to try and cut and shut the loom or anything like that. So I'm going to be feeding, it's only a 2-channel head unit which just puts out to front and rear, so it'll just mean making sure that the speaker balance is set to rear. Not a big deal. So yeah, these are going to be spliced into an existing, or a new loom, and run back to the amplifier's high to low level converter, which I'm waiting on. It's coming in the post on Tuesday, I think. I specified express shipping, so I should get it Tuesday or Wednesday and be able to power up. But tonight I just want to get the speakers in, the plastic trim back on, and basically get the car drivable again. That's all I'm really concerned about. I've given the seats a quick spray with some carpet cleaner and a run over with the wet dry vac. That got rid of a lot of dirt and other crap. The carpet's well and truly dry and ready to go back in, so yeah, I'm going to throw the plastic trims back on these quarters here and then work on running cable down to the amplifier position back here, and that'll at least that'll be all the cable run done, so I can throw the carpet back in. I'm not going to put the carpet back in until I've run all the cable, because otherwise I can't get my hand in there to feed things through. So yeah, main priority is get the cable running done. The doors can wait. I can do them anytime I want because it's just a separate item. The cable can sit up here, and I'm basically just going to run extra wires back out to oh sorry, I won't even have to run wires back out. I'm just going to splice into the existing harness and feed it that way. I'm not too concerned about running this crappy, it's actually very crappy cheap speaker cable. It's not all that crash hot anyway. I'm not too concerned about running it straight to those speakers. Again, I'm not a hardcore audiophile when it comes to car audio. I just want something with a bit of punch, something I can play me metal to. That's an awesome album, especially the second disc, Gettysburg 1863. Very cool. Oh, onward before we run out of daylight and sunlight. It's already almost 4, so I've got a bit of catching up to do. There we go, carpet's back in, nice and clean. It worked very well. Driver's side's still a little bit dirtier, but there wasn't much I could do about that. This carpet is very well used. Yeah, speakers, main input feeders and power is all there. I'm going to run a negative lead to one of the seat mounting studs. It's about the best I can come up with at the moment. Maybe even a secondary lead to one of these points or something. There's plenty of grounding points, so 1 or 2 decent beefy negative cables will go up to there. Again, it'll all be hidden. Once the seat's in and the centre console's in, you'll just see cables. Well, you shouldn't see any cables, but the cables will be tucked up underneath everything. It's one thing I hate is a sloppy car audio install. I've been in so many friends' cars where you're basically getting your ankle caught in the cables as you step out the door because they've just run them over the carpet. And that's just horribly sloppy. At least pull the trim off and just tuck them in under the damn carpet. Drives me nuts when I see a bad car audio install. This one here you won't even be able to tell by the time I'm done, unless you look under the seat and find an amplifier. or look in through the speaker grills, you're not really going to know that it's even been upgraded. I'm not going to have, I might make a miniature bass tube. I do have some 6.5 inch PVC with a woofer mounted in it, but again, it's not all that powerful. I need to work on porting it. And again, it'll just sit along behind one of the front seats. The back seats won't be reinstalled until I really need them. It's not a passenger carrying car, it's a utility car, so the front seats come to about here, and everything else is just open cargo space. I'll probably even leave the plastic trim out of the wheel wells. It doesn't increase road noise all that much having it out, so I might as well leave it. I'll just cable tie and protect all the wiring a bit better, and I don't know, maybe even find some kind of Dynamat equivalent and just stick black urethane or foam matting over it all. Yeah, pretty good. Oh well, I better keep cleaning stuff while the daylight holds out. The wind's come up, so now the bottle brush tree's dropping red stamens and other bits and pieces in here, but oh well, vacuum cleaner will fix that afterwards. So yeah, and the feeder's just multi-core that I've cut down. I've got spools and spools of this stuff, so I stripped it back and I'm just using pairs. It's got a waxy feel to it too. It's definitely not PVC coated. Some kind of important cable, but either way, I found a few spools of it at the scrapyard one day about 2 or 3 years ago, and gave one to Brad, V8 Jag nut, and one or two for myself, and I think this is the first time I've used the crap. It works well, it makes good speaker cable. Central speaker cable anyway if you're running it through a house.